special nights. Here's the MC, Danny Smith.
This is the main event of the evening for the British and European featherweight title between the challenger Clyde Ruan from Slough and Barry McGuigan from Clyde. Ladies and gentlemen, both boys weighed in this afternoon. Ruan weighed 8 stone and 13 pounds. McGuigan weighed 8 stone, 13 pounds and 12 ounces. In the red corner, and on my right, from Slough, the challenger, Clyde Ruan. On my left, and in the blue corner, from Clonus, the British and European featherweight champion, Barry McGuigan. Your stewards in charge, Mr. Bill Sheeran and Derek Monteith. Your inspectors, Dr. Pat McHugh and George O'Neill. Your honorary medical officers, Dr. Paul McKeown and George O'Neill. Your referee from Kent in England, Mr. Larry O'Connell. Your timekeeper, Mr. Dan McAllister.
Larry O'Connell, one of the senior referees in Britain, and a former boxer himself. Clyde Ruan, coming from the right. Born in St. Kitts in the Caribbean, came to the ring tonight behind Caribbean calypso music. And, of course, the local hero, Finbar Patrick McGuigan, Barry McGuigan. He's still served the hottest property in British boxing at this moment. Scheduled for 12 rounds, the British and European featherweight titles, which McGuigan holds. First time he's put up both titles together. And for Ruan from Slough, his first major title fight, although he is the southern area champion. Well, Ruan has been saying ever since he came to Belfast that from his point of view, McGuigan is no Superman, and if you box him correctly, you can go places against him. Now he has to put it all on the line and prove what he said. Clyde Ruan, 24, who must box here. You feel that if he were to mix it, particularly early on, then he could find real trouble. But if he boxes craftily as he can, then he could set McGuigan a few problems. McGuigan from Clonus, known as the Clonus Cyclone, 23 years old, stands 5 feet 6 inches tall, and has a 70-inch reach, which is very long indeed for a man of that size, and is 3 inches longer than normal. This is the first time that McGuigan has defended his British title, which he won 20 months ago. He won the vacant title against Vernon Pempraise. Stopped his man in the second round. That was his 15th professional contest. Tonight he's having number 25. And McGuigan has come out in a very business-like way indeed, determined to beat Ruan to the punch. Ruan has been a professional a year longer than McGuigan, but they've had almost the same number of fights. McGuigan's had 24, Ruan 23. He's lost 2. McGuigan's lost 1. These Eastwood promotions in Belfast really are something. They're the most exciting nights in British boxing at the moment. 1,700 people packed into this Ulster Hall tonight. They could have sold it 3 times over. Ruan running onto very strong left jabs. That's the reach coming into play. Well, it's a lively start for a scheduled 12 rounder. And there's the old left hook that McGuigan favours so strongly, down to the body, one of his best punches. So he's already shown us a few samples of what he has to offer, and Ruan now knows what he's up against. Clyde Ruan with 20 pro wins out of 23 fights. He's only won 6 inside the distance, although now and again he's come up with a very sharp right hand. And one of his best wins was an inside the distance win against a man called Peter Eubanks, who is the only man who's ever beaten McGuigan as a pro. So that's a little feather in Ruan's cap. Born in St Kitts, now lives in Slough, married. And I'm told that his wife, Yvonne, frequently puts the pads on, those are the training gloves, with young Clyde in the living room. Let's get down there with a film camera one of these days and have a look at that. Clyde Ruan from Slough.
Take it away. Round 2.
This is McGuigan's 4th title fight, putting up both his titles tonight, and of course his high world ranking. And a slip here tonight, well, that would drop him back down the rungs of the ladder a long way. Ruan has frequently quoted the sort of fight that Charm Chituli of Zambia gave McGuigan last year. It was one of McGuigan's less impressive performances. And Chituli is a very crafty boxer, and he gave Barry quite a few problems. And Ruan is hoping to do something similar. Left hand from Ruan there, slipped just a little bit low. Fast pace from these two. Well, Ruan has already felt one or two of McGuigan's best punches. He's taken them well. Remember, in his last appearance, McGuigan beat his Colombian opponent in 2 rounds and simply couldn't take his punches. Felipe Orozco knocked out in the second, and Ruan is going nicely. Quite clear that McGuigan has come into this ring determined that Ruan wasn't going to outbox him at the start. He's showing him who's the governor. Ruan being given very little time indeed to get set and throw his own punches. He's being forced to work at a very fast pace. And this is what McGuigan can do. He takes control of a fight. He can box as well as punch. This is what makes him such a formidable champion. Sparkling stuff from McGuigan. To his credit, Ruan is not overawed by any means. Well, one hopes that McGuigan will fulfill all the expectations. It's probably a pity that he didn't go in with Wilfredo Gomez this year, who was the former WBC champion, considered to be a very, very difficult man to beat, but has just been beaten in a world title fight by the Ghanaian boxer Azumar Nelson. So he's the new world champion, and I think that camp, the Barney Eastwood camp, are just that little bit regretful that perhaps Barry didn't go in, because he might have done the same thing and won the world title. Now we can show you the best of Barry from round 2. Some nice movements. He put together some really good punches. And we're showing it in slow motion. I mean, he was really working here at dazzling speed.
3.
So the opening honours clearly have gone to McGuigan. Not by much, but he's just in front. Constantly beating Ruan to the punch with the left hand. And these two looking as though they're really going to give the sponsors of this fight, Smirnoff, their money's worth. McGuigan really working hard here, putting it all into these opening rounds and setting a tremendously fast pace. Ruan hasn't taken one of his really corking punches yet. McGuigan's looking for him with the left hook downstairs. He hasn't really found him solidly with it yet. And Ruan himself has got a bit to offer yet, one feels, as he warms into this and gets used to this extraordinary atmosphere. 1,700 people packed into this place, and about 1,690 of them are all rooting for McGuigan. Good right from McGuigan, and Ruan felt that. The legs began to look a little suspect there. The sheer speed and work rate here of McGuigan is telling. And Ruan is slowing down already. And again he takes it, and again. And suddenly he can't escape. Third round. And everything getting through now from this extraordinary little Irishman. But Ruan fights back. And the McGuigan corner, his manager, Barney Eastwood, getting a finger wagging and a ticking off from Larry O'Connell. Getting excited. And Ruan took a long, hard look at McGuigan as they parted at the bell, as much as to say, well, I said you were no Superman. Well, maybe I'm beginning to have my doubts. Well, he was a good amateur, Ruan. I remember him as being, strangely enough, the lightweight champion, much higher weight than this, of the home counties. He really did began to take some heavy punches here. McGuigan set it up early on with a good right, and you could see that went right down to the boots. And here, Ruan's beginning to fall inside and hang on and hope. So they're well pleased in that corner. 3 rounds gone, and McGuigan very comfortably ahead and in charge. The Clonez Cyclone from County Monaghan, born in Era, qualifies for the British title through his father's national Northern Ireland nationality, and Barry himself now a naturalised British subject. Ruan's last fight was in June, which we showed you on BBC television. He had a final eliminator against Pat Doherty of Croydon. Terrific fight. And Ruan was well in front, but caught some trouble at the very end of the fight. And was in fact on the floor at the bell. And came up off the floor after the bell to be declared the points winner. Again, forcing the punches through the guard, both to the head and the body. And hard as Ruan tries to keep his boxing in control, so McGuigan tears it apart. Just have a look at the variety of punches. And Ruan's coming back to have a go. And for the first time, he put McGuigan under a little bit of pressure. Really good punch, dug downstairs by McGuigan. And that's no knockdown. Barry O'Connell signalling to the timekeeper, just a slip. Another good left hook from McGuigan. Ruan trying to keep up with him, and it's impossible. He's gone. This time it's no slip. Is he going to beat the count? Fourth round. Counted out. You couldn't hear the count of the noise. But Ruan is counted out. And so McGuigan does it yet again. Ruan said he was no Superman, but he might have different thoughts about it now, because he really... McGuigan put such good work together there that the man simply couldn't keep up with him. Well, we can have another look at the way it all ended, and very rapid it was too. When he gets going, he really does put his work together. Look at that left hook. That is some punch, and there was no way he was ever going to recover from that. And McGuigan, I think, knew he got him. He didn't attempt to throw another punch, and Larry O'Connell counted out the challenger. Clean knockout for Barry McGuigan. We can see it again from another angle. Terrific left hook. He began putting these punches together in the third, and now in the fourth. They're really coming at Ruan, and the challenger has nowhere to go but the floor, and he didn't get up from it before 10. Right, I'm going to get up into this ring now and see if we can have a word with the champion.
Chance can I hear you? Now try it now when the crowd's quiet. Wait for the bell.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes, 50 seconds into the fourth round. The referee counted out the challenger, Clyde Ruan, and the winner and still British and European
Just fixing 2 belts on Barry McGuigan. The Lonsdale belt round his waist, and the European Championship belt over the shoulders. Well, young Barry, congratulations yet again. Terrific job you did again.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm very pleased.
Now, for a couple of rounds, he certainly made you think a bit, didn't he?
Sure he did. He was very, very cagey, and he's a very snappy puncher and a very dangerous puncher. and he's one of these fighters that leads you into a trap, and he bangs you with that sharp right hand of his and the sweeping left hook after. So full credit to him. It was a really good fight, and he put up a marvellous show, and he made me work very hard.
But that last punch, the left hook, that was a cracker, wasn't it?
Thank you very much indeed.
I think we might just be able to show you again down here. Here we are. Just tell me about it.
Yeah, it was a nice left hook, and he went after that. I rushed after him quickly to try and throw the uppercut, but he was gone at that stage. You know, I followed the corner instructions. I done what I was told. Mr. Eastwood and Eddie, we worked out a great plan here, and we're told to do exactly what I did do. Keep at him, use that jab, pepper him with the jab, pull back, and feint, and come in and out, and do me thing as quickly as possible. And it worked off brilliantly. I've never worked as hard for any fight, and I feel that I'm getting better, Harry, and I hope that I am. You know?
I'm sure you are. You're going to have a quiet Christmas now?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about that. I've worked very hard this year so far, so you know, I'm very pleased that things have went the way they did. I've been very lucky, and I'm looking forward to a nice relaxed Christmas, and I'll get back at it again shortly afterwards.
Let's just bring Barney Eastwood in, your manager. What are the plans after Christmas, Barney?
Well, Harry, we plan to feature him at the King's Hall, and we've been negotiating in America, trying to bring the world champion or somebody in the top 3, but it's very, very difficult to get them to come here. But our good friend here, Trevor McClintock, who's sponsoring this show tonight, has promised to go to Panama with me in an effort to try and bring home the bacon, so I don't know. But anyway, he will be boxing probably February in the King's Hall in a very big fight, whether it's the world title or not. But I think after tonight's performance, he must surely be he's knocking on the door now.
Yeah, more than knocking on the door, I think it's almost there now, isn't it? Anyway, have a good Christmas, enjoy yourself with the family, and come back in 1985 and kill them all.
And listen, I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank all my fans everywhere and wish them all a happy Christmas and a peaceful New Year. And I'd like to also say that I dedicate this fight to my grandfather, who died on Friday, and it made me fight that much harder. I had to go to his funeral on Sunday, and I'm very pleased that I won for him. And happy Christmas, everybody.
Thank you very much, Barry.